Dharma versus karma. What is the concept of dharma in the Vedic terminology? This term is quite misunderstood, and nowadays you know it. If you go to India, dharma is used as a synonym for religion, which is not the case. So let's try to understand this term. So dharma is basically an inherent characteristic of something. So in Sanskrit grammar, a thing is called as dharmi, what is a noun, so to say, like wood. So I'm sitting near a wooden desk. This is wood. Wood is a noun word. It is a thing, a visible thing, very much I can see it, is it not? And it has certain characteristics. So wood becomes dharmi in this case, and its characteristics become dharma. There are many other pairs like this in Sanskrit grammar. Instead of dharmi, I could say guni, and its characteristics are then called as guna. And also I could say, instead of dharmi, I could say visheshya, and then its characteristics are called as visheshan. So there are many words, pairs like this, and a classical philosophical pair is nam roop. Nam is the name of a thing, and roop is its characteristic, is it not? So such pairs are there in our philosophy to discuss various things that we want to discuss. So dharma is to be seen as a characteristics of certain things that are inherent to it. So everything, like for example, the wood has a characteristic, visible characteristic. One of it is it floats on water. It doesn't sink in water, is it not? So anybody can do the experiment, take a piece of wood and throw in a water pond, and can see, yes, it does not sink in water. So the wood has a dharma that it floats on water, it doesn't sink. So that is an inherent characteristic of dharma. In our philosophy, all the things in the universe, billions of things in the universe, there is a maker of that thing, as I said. The wooden desk is made by a conscious being, namely a carpenter. Similarly, in the Vedic view, the entire universe is made by an infinite consciousness who has many names. One name is Ishwar, so to say, is it not? So Ishwar has many names because it reflects many of his characteristics. So he has the design, he has the knowledge, and based on that knowledge, he has made billions of things, including wood. So he has designed the wood such that wood bears this particular characteristic that it floats on water, is it not? And that is why that Ishwar has a name, Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj meaning that he has the ultimate authority to ascribe the particular dharma, particular characteristics of all the things, is it not? So nothing can deviate from its characteristics because that is inherent to it. So knowing the dharma, so the word dharma has connotation both in knowledge and action. You know, as a human being, we have 5 sensory organs to acquire knowledge, and we have motor organs to act upon the surroundings. So these are 2 principal functions of ours, acquisition of knowledge and then performing actions, is it not? So dharma has a connotation both in knowledge as well as action. In the sense, I wish to know the dharma of everything, is it not? That way, this is my knowledge domain. And then I want to know how the everythings behave. What is the dharma of everything? That also is not just the knowledge, it is knowing. For example, coming back to this wood, the wood scientist will say that yes, it floats on water, which is an exhibit characteristics it exhibits, but that happens because its specific gravity is less than 1 or its density is less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter, is it not? So as a scientist, he is telling us because its density is less than 1, it floats on water. So there is a knowledge part of wood that its density is less, and its behavioral part is it floats on water, is it not? So both knowledge and action are included within this term dharma. Now the question arises, and that's where a lot of confusion is there, particularly in India, with related to this term dharma. If that dharma, that entity, has placed the dharma of all the things in the world, including animals, like the cow is grazing grass, gives milk, a horse behaves like this. So the cow is according to Gaudharma, a horse behaves like Ashwadharma. So they are all fixed in their behavioral pattern. Nobody can jump out of that trajectory, is it not? Everything, even the earth is moving around the sun in a particular manner, and it cannot come out of that trajectory. So everything is behaving according to its dharma. Now the human beings are very unusual and uniquely unusual in the sense, even though I may know my dharma, my universal characteristics, for example, all the human beings will say, I should be truthful. So truthfulness is our desirable characteristics. That way we can say, we all human beings can agree that we should be truthful, is it not? But why is it not that we are always truthful? So that is where the unusual feature of human beings come into light, that we may have a desirable characteristics that we ought to exhibit, namely, say, truthfulness, but I have a freedom to behave contrary to it. No other things in the universe has a freedom to deviate from its dharma, but human beings have their freedom. So even though we have, maybe there is a manav dharma, there is a human dharma, which of course would be what is acceptable to the entire humanity. That is what is desirable. But we have the freedom to deviate from it. That's why we have a very important term in philosophy, Vedic philosophy, karma. So karma is something what eventually, finally I do. So this is action based. So my dharma, my inherent characteristics are quite fixed. That is what that dharma would expect from me. He has sent me into this world, and his expectations are humanism, the human dharma or manav dharma. But what I perform exactly at my discretion, whatever I have, though there are certain limitations, so I have freedom within a bunch of limitations, but finally what I execute is my karma. It is desired that my karma should be in accordance with the dharma, but sometimes I am, sometimes I am not, is it not? So there is a philosophy of karma. Last Monday, the whole session almost went in this direction, what related to philosophy of karma and law of karma, etc. So this is the basis of the whole philosophy of karma, that for all animals, etc., their karma is always aligned with their dharma. Actually, they don't do any karma. So they don't are judged according to the law of karma. But we are given with the freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of action, that even though I know my dharma, which is not difficult to know, your inner voice is always there. That dharma is always guiding you if you care to listen to that inner voice. He is always there. Well, if you ignore it, you habitually ignore it, then you may even say that there is no inner voice. But as a child, we all had an inner voice. And if we continue to be guided by it, then we are in the direction of the dharma. Otherwise, my karma may not be aligned with my dharma, and then I am accountable by that agency for the consequences of my karma, and that accountability is the law of karma. So law of karma gives me a reward. It can be in the nature of positive and negative. If I do good karma, then it brings me happiness, sukh, etc. And if I do bad karma, so good karma is called as dharma, and bad karma is called adharma. And then Patanjali says, I bring the joy. He has in second chapter, Hilat Payita Phala. So these are the consequences, happiness and pain, consequences of what? When my karma is according to dharma, I am happy life. Otherwise, I will meet unhappiness. But of course, the time duration is not easy, that gestation period, when the reward of a particular karma will come. So that's why there is a lot of confusion. People don't, it is impossible to correlate. My today's happiness is due to what karma in the past, and they linger with me even after life. So, I am carrying on a kind of a ledger book for several life. So this is a very elaborate law of karma we are following. So this was a discussion last Monday, that what is the philosophy of dharma and karma and related issues. So I just brought